Previously, Lin Moyu encounters a dramatic and familiar voice amid the unfolding events involving the Star Sky Fish People. The voice belongs to Shu Qingyang, a character Lin Moyu last saw during the perilous rescue operation in the Nether Swamp. Their reunion is marked by Shu Qingyang's overly enthusiastic and theatrical greeting, which catches Lin Moyu off guard and leads to a brief, awkward exchange. With that, let's continue.
Shu Qingyang had a worried look on his face, as if the sky was about to fall. Lin Moyu knew his expression was exaggerated and not really the case. In his era, Shu Qingyang was said to be unrivaled among those of the same realm, with extremely powerful combat strength. Although he later made a mistake and was trapped in the Nether Swamp for thousands of years, he had now recovered, and it shouldn't affect his combat power. While Lin Moyu wasn't sure of Shu Qingyang's true strength, he could deduce from his soul strength that Shu Qingyang was stronger than most lesser god sovereigns. He could even fight against god sovereigns. Lin Moyu ignored Shu Qingyang's exaggerated behavior and asked, "What orders did you receive?" Shu Qingyang looked dejected. "The ancestor gave a strict order that I cannot lose. Against others it would be fine, but if I face Princess Ru, I'm not confident." Lin Moyu asked, "Is she that powerful?" Shu Qingyang nodded. "She's really powerful. With her spatial laws, I can't even touch the hem of her skirt, let alone fight her." Lin Moyu thought for a moment, "If she makes a move, I'll handle it." Shu Qingyang's eyes lit up with joy. "That's great, then I'll leave it to junior brother Lin." He was not only playful but also incredibly thick-skinned. He didn't know the meaning of courtesy at all. Hearing Lin Moyu say this, he immediately pushed the responsibility onto Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't mind and asked again, "What's the deal with the Hixing and Hekong brothers? I sense some hostility from them towards me." Shu Qingyang revealed a hint of disdain. "They're from the He family. They've been pampered since childhood, always surrounded by flatterers. It's just that when you suddenly appeared, the wind changed direction. Those who used to flatter them suddenly stopped and started praising you instead, so they're a bit unhappy with you. Also, recently, faith towers were built for you. Originally, those faith towers were meant for them, so they're even more displeased." The Shu family indeed had access to a wealth of information, speaking about it as if reciting from memory. In Lin Moyu's view, it was mainly because of the faith towers that had drawn their hostility. Faith power is very useful for cultivators, and the earlier one accumulates it, the better. Ordinary cultivators might not understand its importance, but those from families with inherited traditions start accumulating faith power early on. Lin Moyu sipped his tea and said leisurely, "Does senior brother Shu know about the He family's situation?" Shu Qingyang laughed. "How could I not know? The He family is a clan in the high-level region, quite sizable. They have a peak god sovereign in the family who is currently in seclusion, reportedly close to breaking through. Besides that, they have two high-level god sovereigns, one at the 7th stage and one at the 8th stage. The family has about 20,000 members and manages a star system with abundant resources. They have high hopes for the Hixing and Hekong brothers and have invested a lot to set up faith towers for them. It was all settled, but at the last moment, the location they had decided on was taken by you. Although the human territory is vast, most of the faith towers are occupied by other shore and holy sovereign experts. To build faith towers in the available areas, one must apply and get approval. The whole process is quite complex and requires paying a certain price." After waiting for so long, they were cut off by Lin Moyu and now have to wait again, so naturally, they're unhappy. "So that's what happened." Lin Moyu revealed a slight smile, not taking such small matters to heart at all. Not just him, even Shu Qingyang didn't take those too seriously. Lin Moyu then asked about the situation of the Star Sky Fish people visiting this time, but Shu Qingyang wasn't very clear on this. He hadn't had any contact with them yet. But this didn't stump Lin Moyu. He looked towards the direction where the Star Sky Fish people were staying. A skeleton appeared beside him, and the undead vision was activated. In an instant, numerous soul flames appeared clearly in his vision. Through the strength of the soul flames, Lin Moyu could roughly analyze their strengths. There are 97 people in total, 7 god sovereigns, 3 high-level god sovereigns, 4 5th-stage god sovereigns, 10 lesser god sovereigns, 20 god kings, 30 true gods, and 30 transcendent gods. Each one is quite impressive, all considered geniuses. Lin Moyu said softly. This time it was Shu Qingyang who was stunned, wondering how Lin Moyu knew so clearly. Among these soul flames, Lin Moyu saw a familiar person, Yu Qingru. Yu Qingru's soul was far stronger than others. At first glance, Lin Moyu thought he had seen a god sovereign. After looking through once, Lin Moyu withdrew his gaze. Shu Qingyang's eyes lit up. "Junior brother Lin, how did you see all that?" Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't tell him and just smiled. The people on our side correspond 1-to-1 with them. Xu Qingyang nodded. Yes, the numbers correspond 1-to-1, and so do the realms. It's all about comparing combat power. Junior brother Lin, we're counting on you when the time comes. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. I'll do my best. The next day, the circular continent finally activated. Space distorted, and the continent suddenly plunged into space, disappearing from sight. At this moment, everyone heard an authoritative voice. Everyone, gather at the pavilion. It was an order from a god sovereign, and no one dared to be negligent. They all flew towards the pavilion. Xu Qingyang unhurriedly put away the tea set and smiled. Junior brother Lin, let's go too. Let's see the wonderful sights of our human star domain. The two flew to the pavilion. By now, the area around the pavilion was already full of people. In the sky, 7 human god sovereigns stood with impressive bearing. On the ground, a group of geniuses stood steadily, their eyes filled with intense fighting spirit. They knew the purpose of their trip, and each was eager to get started. The star skyfish people hadn't arrived yet, and the other side was still empty. A god sovereign waved his hand, and starting from the pavilion, a long row of tables and chairs appeared. The tables were filled with a dazzling array of delicacies, all human cuisine from various star domains. There were also countless fruits that looked fresh and delicious. Besides these, there was wine and tea on the tables, available for anyone to choose. After waiting for a while, huge waves suddenly rose from the sea surface, coming directly to the shore and turning into a giant hand. Then figures appeared on the giant hand, which carried them over. Light flew up from their bodies into the sky, then transformed into starlight and fell back down. The whole scene was as if they had arrived accompanied by starlight. The star skyfish people are most familiar with water and starlight. But this scene, in the eyes of the humans, was somewhat uncomfortable. Xu Qingyang said softly, they're putting on airs, aren't they? Quite arrogant. Lin Moyu replied in a low voice, they're guests from afar. If they like to show off, let them. It's not like we'll lose anything. Xu Qingyang snorted, you're right. This great one is magnanimous and won't quibble over it. Lin Moyu's gaze penetrated through the falling stars, seeing the various geniuses of the star skyfish people. 7 god sovereigns stood at the front, followed by lesser god sovereigns, then god kings, true gods, and transcendent gods. This showed that the star skyfish people's hierarchy was equally strict. Behind the 7 god sovereigns, Lin Moyu saw Yu Qingro. She really has reached lesser god sovereign. Lin Moyu felt curious. Previously she was at the peak of true god, how did she suddenly become a lesser god sovereign? Could her cultivation speed be as fast as his own? Xu Qingyang said in a low voice, behind the 7 god sovereigns, the one wearing the silver feather long dress is Princess Ru. Look, isn't she beautiful, peerlessly elegant? Lin Moyu said softly, don't you think it's a bit strange? The 7 god sovereigns of the human race had already gone up to greet the members of the star skyfish people. The god sovereigns appeared very courteous, but they still maintained the inherent pride of the human race. Their conversation was neither humble nor arrogant, just without putting on airs. From their attitude, Lin Moyu could analyze the human race's stance towards the star skyfish people. They couldn't appear weak, but they also couldn't be overly domineering. The relationship between the two sides should be one of friendly cooperation, with trust levels not yet high and still needing time to build. Xu Qingyang's puzzled voice came to Lin Moyu's ears, what's strange? Lin Moyu explained in a low voice, you were trapped in the nether swamp for over 1,000 years, but she wasn't trapped there. Why hasn't her cultivation level progressed at all in these 1,000 years? Xu Qingyang's eyes suddenly lit up, and he instinctively said, yeah, why hasn't her cultivation level progressed? And I find it strange how she escaped back then. Even if she mastered the nether law, it would have been extremely difficult to escape. Lin Moyu said softly, she must have paid some price. Lin Moyu naturally knew how Yu Qingro escaped the nether swamp. She must have paid a price, but only she knew the specifics. Thinking back, Yu Qingro later went to the Vermilion Bird battlefield, seemingly searching for something. Lin Moyu felt a gaze fall upon him. Looking up, he saw that the gaze belonged to Yu Qingro. Their eyes met, and Lin Moyu smiled slightly, sending a soul message, long time no see. Yu Qingru's clear and beautiful voice echoed in his soul, long time no see. I didn't expect you to become a lesser god sovereign. Lin Moyu smiled, you also became a lesser god sovereign. I'm different. Yu Qingru's gaze suddenly became complicated, as if she wanted to say something but stopped. Lin Moyu smiled slightly and didn't press further. Having interacted with Yu Qingro before, he knew her personality well. This brief exchange still matched his previous impression of her. Xu Qingyang's excited voice sounded in his ear. Princess Ru is looking at me. Does she still remember me? Xu Qingyang looked somewhat infatuated. Back in the Nether Swamp, Lin Moyu had already noticed that this guy seemed to have feelings for Princess Ru. Lin Moyu said, "Why don't you ask her yourself?" At this moment, the voice of a god sovereign rang out again. We are about to reach the first wonder, the rising sun of the Star Sea. Everyone, please take your seats, enjoy the food and wine, and appreciate the wonder. One of their tasks was to interact with the Star Skyfish people, fostering mutual understanding and building relationships. Everyone present was a genius from various prominent families. In the future, they might become high-ranking members of both races. Building good relationships in advance would benefit both races in the future. The long table, over 100 meters long, was filled with exquisite food. The food looked incredibly tempting. Everyone took their seats, and the atmosphere became more relaxed. Transcendent gods and lesser god sovereigns could sit together, something that wouldn't normally happen. The transcendent gods and true gods had visibly excited expressions. Lin Moyu casually chose a seat, and in front of him sat a lesser god sovereign from the Star Sky Fish people. Lin Moyu smiled as a greeting. As for the god sovereigns, they moved to another place, seemingly to discuss something. With the god sovereigns gone, the young people from both races became more at ease. After all, they were all young and quickly became familiar with each other. The Star Skyfish people and the human race looked about 90% similar in appearance. Their aesthetics were also very close. The geniuses sent by the human race this time were all handsome men and beautiful women. As the atmosphere warmed up, relationships naturally grew closer. Yu Qingro, dressed in a silver long dress and with a tall figure, walked over and sat opposite Lin Moyu. She smiled brightly, like a blooming flower. Do you have time? Let's chat. Lin Moyu readily agreed, sure. Before he could get up, Xu Qingyang rushed over with a smile. Princess Ru, long time no see. Yu Qingro looked at Xu Qingyang with a hint of confusion. Who are you? Xu Qingyang immediately said, I'm Xu Qingyang. We went to the Nether Swamp together back then. Yu Qingru's eyes flickered. I know about the Nether Swamp, but I don't remember what happened back then. Sorry. What? Yu Qingru's response left Xu Qingyang stunned. She had actually forgotten about the events of that time. He seemed a bit unwilling and immediately asked, Princess Ru, do you remember how you escaped back then? Yu Qingro shook her head. I don't remember. She then gave Lin Moyu a look, and he slowly stood up. Let's go. The two left the crowd and walked towards the coast. Xu Qingyang stood in place for a few seconds, watching their departing figures. He communicated with the Human Emperor Network. Ancestor, Yu Qingro doesn't remember the events of the Nether Swamp. As he sent the message, Xu Qingyang's gaze became sharp, a stark contrast to his earlier playful demeanor. Lin Moyu and Yu Qingro reached the coast, listening to the sound of the waves. Yu Qingro slowly spoke. I didn't expect to see you here. Your cultivation speed is astonishing. Lin Moyu smiled. You too. When I last saw you, you were at the peak of the true god realm. Now you're a lesser god sovereign. Yu Qingru's smile faded, and she became cold. She gently shook her head. I'm different. I just recovered my previous cultivation level. Lin Moyu sensed the change in Yu Qingro. This is the real you. The earlier you was just an act. Yu Qingru's aura grew colder. I don't like interacting with too many people, especially when it's meaningless. But my status requires me to participate. I understand. Lin Moyu chuckled, fully grasping the meaning behind her words. Yu Qingro looked Lin Moyu up and down. I'm curious about what you've experienced over the years. Why have you cultivated so quickly? Lin Moyu laughed. I've been through a lot. I have good talent, so my cultivation speed is fast. Yu Qingro rolled her eyes at him. Your skin has thickened since before. Lin Moyu didn't respond. I'm also curious. What were you looking for in the Vermilion Bird battlefield? Yu Qingro said softly, so you noticed. I was looking for my lost cultivation level. Lin Moyu was puzzled. Lost cultivation level? Yu Qingro stretched lazily, revealing her beautiful figure. It's a secret technique of ours. It's no harm telling you. When we encounter danger, we can use the secret technique to reincarnate once. The soul and body can return to the ancestral land and be reborn. But reincarnation can't take the cultivation level with it. The cultivation level doesn't just disappear, it stays somewhere in a special form. Now you understand. Lin Moyu nodded. How could he not understand? She must have been severely injured when she escaped the Nether Swamp and then used the secret technique to reincarnate. After being reborn, she cultivated back to the peak of the true god realm and then returned to find her lost cultivation level. Lin Moyu asked, do you lose your memory during reincarnation? Yu Qingro sighed. Usually not, but I had an accident and lost my memory. But it's fine, it's like living a new life. You have a positive outlook. A flash of light appeared, and Lin Moyu held a jade box in his hand. Seeing the jade box in Lin Moyu's hand, Yu Qingru's breath suddenly caught. Her gaze never left the jade box as she asked, "Is this what you obtained from the nether swamp?" Lin Moyu casually handed the jade box over. "It should be your item, right?" Yu Qingru took the jade box. "After my reincarnation, the elders in my clan told me about what happened before my reincarnation. I know I had a magical treasure that was lost in the nether swamp." As she spoke, her jade white hand gently caressed the jade box. Her movements were gentle, as if caressing her most beloved possession. After all, it was once her most important magical treasure. Even though she had reincarnated, that familiar feeling was hard to erase. Yu Qingru opened the box, and an exquisite small sword flew out like lightning, stabbing towards Yu Qingru. Yu Qingru didn't dodge, allowing the small sword to approach. When the small sword was just a finger's width from her brow, it suddenly stopped. Then the small sword emitted a joyful sword hum, circling around Yu Qingru like a child reunited with family. The small sword would occasionally stop and press against Yu Qingru's beautiful face, appearing extremely intimate. Yu Qingru said, "Although I've lost my previous memories, I'm certain this small sword is my magical treasure." At this moment, another silver sword appeared in Yu Qingru's hand. The two swords emitted soft hums, as if greeting each other. Both swords possessed rudimentary intelligence. Although not high level, they were still rare treasures. Yu Qingru put the small sword back in the jade box, then the jade box turned into a stream of light and entered Yu Qingru's body. After reincarnation, she was still the master of the magical treasure and didn't need to refine and claim ownership again. Lin Moyu smiled. "I found it in the nether swamp, and now it's returned to its rightful owner." Yu Qingru said softly, "Thank you." Without pretense, just a simple thank you. Yu Qingru wouldn't say grandiose words, a thank you was enough. Lin Moyu asked, "You should be able to advance to God Sovereign now, right? Why are you still suppressing your realm?" He had already seen through his soul eye that Yu Qingru's soul was exceptionally strong. It was even stronger than the souls of some newly advanced God Sovereigns. It might be related to her reincarnation and second cultivation. Yu Qingru already met the conditions to advance to God Sovereign, but clearly, she was deliberately suppressing her realm and hadn't advanced to God Sovereign. Yu Qingru didn't conceal anything. "I still have one technique that hasn't evolved into a star. If I advance to God Sovereign now, it would be harmful rather than beneficial for the future. One of the reasons for coming to your human race this time is to ask for a 6-colored spirit fire. However, 6-colored spirit fire is too rare, and I don't know if you're human race." Before she finished speaking, her eyes suddenly widened. In Lin Moyu's palm was a fire-resistant box. The box opened, revealing a spirit fire flickering and jumping inside. 7 colors of light intertwined, reflecting on Yu Qingru's beautiful face. 7-colored spirit fire. Yu Qingru was completely stunned. She had originally wanted a 6-colored spirit fire, but Lin Moyu casually produced a 7-colored spirit fire. 7-colored spirit fire only appeared in legends, and she had never dared to hope for one. She wasn't even sure if it really existed. Just as she was about to say something, suddenly a dazzling beam of light shot out from the distant pavilion, reaching the sky. The formation covering the continent was activated, and the originally dim and hazy sky suddenly became clear. The scene in the divine city starry sky passed through the formation, entering everyone's vision. In the dim starry sky, a wondrous scene was unfolding. In the dim starry sky, countless stars twinkled. These stars were not real stars, but fragments of stars. However, there were so many that they had to be counted in billions or trillions. In the distance were 4 suns, positioned right around the star fragments. Of the 4 suns, 2 emitted blue light, while the other 2 emitted red light. The lights intertwined, causing billions of star fragments to simultaneously reflect light. The lights interwove, forming wave-like undulations similar to ocean waves. The light undulated like ocean waves, alternating between blue and red, appearing very dreamlike. Waves of rule aura came from the dreamlike world, instantly sweeping across a vast expanse of starry sky. The scene became even more dreamlike, with rules and light fusing together, actually generating another starry sky. The starry sky within the light was like an independent small world. Inside, people were singing and dancing, like a mirage in the starry sky. That world was equally brilliant and beautiful. Soon, a great sun rose from the independent small world. The small world was illuminated and awakened. Rows of tall buildings appeared, neatly arranged and staggered. Between the tall buildings were roads, with pedestrians and rectangular objects moving quickly. When they saw this scene, everyone was stunned. What kind of buildings are these? Why do they look like this? I've never seen anything like it. They're square and seem to be made of metal. Why are there so many pieces of glass on the outside of the walls? It looks quite pretty. What are those things running on the roads? They're square and look like iron boxes. The clothes those people are wearing are so strange. Even many people from the human race hadn't seen such scenes before and showed surprised expressions. Not to mention the star sky fish people, who couldn't understand at all. In their view, cultivators could all fly. But in this projected small world, the people were all just walking. And their clothing and appearance were completely different from the great world. At this moment, a god sovereign's voice sounded. This is the rising sun of the star sea, one of the wonders of our human race. So-called wonders don't refer to how beautiful something is. Rather, it refers to something never seen before, beyond one's knowledge system, that can make people feel surprised. This is a wonder. Lin Moyu was also very surprised at this moment, even somewhat shocked. The light of the seven-colored spirit fire reflected on his face, magnifying his shock. Yu Qingro asked, "Is this your first time seeing it too?" Lin Moyu just made an sound. His gaze was fixed on the so-called rising sun of the star sea. In the world of the rising sun of the star sea, a great sun was rising into the sky. How could this be his first time seeing it? He had seen it countless times. This was the world he lived in during his previous life, the world called China. Familiar skyscrapers, familiar pedestrians and cars, familiar roads, familiar traffic lights. He kept murmuring in his heart, how is this possible? What's going on? He had once thought that the world of his previous life, as Zhao Hao, was just a small world within the great world. Later, after entering the great world and continuously increasing his strength, he realized his idea was wrong. The world of his previous life was not some small world. The two had completely different systems. Under the coverage of runes in the great world, such a small world would not appear. This was a world of laws and runes, with its own operating rules. There might be deviations, but not such large deviations. The two worlds should have no connection, but thinking of the primordial runes, those most ancient primordial characters, they seemed to have some connection to his previous life. Lin Moyu couldn't figure it out, and later simply stopped thinking about it. He believed that as long as he became strong enough, he would be able to understand all these things. Unexpectedly, today in the so-called rising sun of the star sea, wonder, he saw the world of his previous life again. His whole mind was stunned. How could he not be shocked? Yu Qingro seemed to sense Lin Moyu's abnormality and asked in a gentle tone with concern, "Are you all right?" Lin Moyu struggled to suppress the turmoil in his heart, responding in an extremely calm tone, "It's nothing." His voice carried a hint of hoarseness. Though his tone seemed calm, inside he was in complete upheaval. For some reason, Yu Qingro felt her heart tighten, with an indescribable feeling. She could tell that Lin Moyu had something on his mind, but wasn't saying it. Yu Qingro very much wanted to say, "If there's anything, you can tell me." But in the end, she held back. What right did she have? At most, she was just Lin Moyu's friend. And not even from the same race, so this friendship came with a discount. Finally, Lin Moyu withdrew his gaze. His aura completely calmed down as he muttered to himself, "The rising sun of the star sea, it's quite nice indeed." Countless stars formed the sea, 4 suns in 4 directions, interweaving with unique natural laws to create a peculiar scene. These scenes seemed real yet illusory, as if allowing one to glimpse another strange world. The specific reason was unclear to everyone, after all it was just images. Many people thought this might be the projection of some small world still in a closed state, manifesting as a mirage in the starry sea. But those with high realms knew very clearly that this was not the case. As for what was really going on, only a very few people knew. The rising sun of the star sea lasted for about 10 minutes before ending. The continent continued on its journey, flying towards the next scenic spot. The Divine City star domain was vast. Even just the intermediate region far exceeded the star skyfish people's territory. By now everyone had become familiar with each other, chatting away and also learning a lot of information about the star skyfish people. This information wasn't confidential, and the holy sovereigns wouldn't interfere. The place where the star skyfish people lived in seclusion wasn't very large. According to their description, it was only about 1 light year in diameter. For a powerful race, a territory of 1 light year was really too small. Taking the human race as an example, the 4 major star domains protecting the Divine City star domain spanned tens of thousands of light years. Compared to tens of thousands, 1 light year was far too small. The other powerful races might have smaller territories than humans, but not by much. Even the Buddhist race occupied a star domain of over 10,000 light-years. Lin Moyu gazed out at the sea and asked, "Are you planning to end your seclusion?" Yu Qingro didn't conceal anything. "Yes, the elders do have that intention, but it's not certain yet." "Is it because you're running out of cultivation resources?" Lin Moyu continued to ask. Yu Qingro shook her head. "We still have enough resources for now, it's just that we've been separated from the great world for too long. But coming out of seclusion is just one of many options. We have other choices too. Actually, the elders' opinions aren't unified. Some elders think we don't need to come out, that we're fine as we are now." As a princess of the Star Sky Fish people who had mastered spatial laws, Yu Qingro held a high position in her clan. She knew a lot of information, but Lin Moyu hadn't expected to get any secrets from her. Lin Moyu sighed lightly. "Indeed, your concerns aren't wrong. The great world is too cruel. Sometimes I also wonder why I came from the small world to the great world. Living in a small world isn't bad either, living a peaceful life, having children, passing on bloodlines. Why bother coming to the great world to take risks?" Yu Qingru's eyes flashed with a lively light. "So you came from a small world too? Then we're similar." She seemed to have found something in common with Lin Moyu and looked a bit happy. The Star Skyfish people's place of seclusion could also be considered a small world. Yu Qingro asked curiously, "So what reason ultimately made you choose to stay in the great world?" Lin Moyu continued, "There are many reasons. The most important one is that I want to control my own destiny. A small world seems safe, but is actually more dangerous. Perhaps just the aftershocks of a battle between holy sovereigns would be enough to destroy an entire small world. When that kind of thing happens, if I don't have power, how can I protect myself and my family?" Yu Qingro agreed with Lin Moyu's view. Indeed, living in seclusion may seem carefree, but actually doesn't provide much ability to resist risks. It's like fish in a river. One day a bigger fish might come from the sea and eat them. Hearing Yu Qingru's words, many speculations suddenly arose in Lin Moyu's mind. He realized that something must have happened within the Star Skyfish people clan, forcing them to make the decision to come out of seclusion. What exactly happened, he wouldn't ask, and Yu Qingro wouldn't say even if he did. But from this, Lin Moyu could be certain that the Star Skyfish people's return was almost a foregone conclusion. If he could figure this out, those cunning holy sovereigns must have seen it clearly too. The holy sovereigns and fish people elders were discussing, actually negotiating. Everyone was bargaining for their own interests. What they needed to do was demonstrate the strength of the human younger generation to increase their bargaining chips. At the same time, they also had to give the fish people some face. Both sides had to get through this. They needed to win, but not win too decisively. Energy fluctuations came from nearby as the aura of God sovereigns rose. To Lin Moyu and Yu Qingro, this aura was like a gentle breeze. They both turned to look and saw two people sparring about 10,000 meters away from the banquet. Both were peak God sovereigns, both geniuses who could fight above their level. This was the first clash between the young geniuses of the Star Sky Fish people and humans. Many people were watching from the sidelines. They all looked somewhat excited. "Looks like these young people can't wait anymore," Lin Moyu chuckled. Yu Qingro glanced at Lin Moyu and said softly, "They're older than you." Lin Moyu was slightly stunned. How did Yu Qingro know his age? He had hidden his age information from the Human Emperor network, and Yu Qingro shouldn't be able to see that information anyway. Yu Qingro laughed lightly. "I was born with awakened spatial power. Space is like my hand. Without touching, I can see your bone age. It's not very accurate, but I can roughly tell that you're probably not even 100 years old yet." Lin Moyu suddenly understood. "Space is like your hand. I didn't know spatial laws could be used like that." Yu Qingro didn't dwell on this topic. She smiled brightly. "Let's go, young genius. Let's go watch the battle too." Yu Qingru's face gradually lit up with a smile, sweeping away her previous coldness. This was the image she deliberately presented to others, different from her true personality. Lin Moyu knew this was also specifically instructed by the elders of her clan. This exchange between the two races was very important, so Yu Qingro couldn't be too aloof, as that would easily offend people. The fundamental power of the Starry Sky Fishmen is the power of space. This does not mean that they cannot use other powers. In reality, within the Starry Sky Fishmen, only those with royal blood have the chance to awaken spatial talents and comprehend the laws of space. Even then, the number of those who can truly comprehend the laws of space is not many. Individuals like Yu Qingro, who are born with spatial power, are even rarer. Apart from spatial power, the Starry Sky Fishmen are most adept at water laws, as their name suggests. Under the same realm, the starry sky fishmen can exert greater power with water laws. Yu Qingro calmly said, "Who do you think will win?" Lin Moyu pondered for a few seconds. From the perspective of laws, the killing law has an advantage, but you have a bonus with water laws, so it evens out. With both sides at the same realm and similar strength, it will most likely end in a draw. Lin Moyu added in his heart, if it were a life and death battle, the human race would survive. Yu Qingro smiled, ending the first match in a draw is indeed a good result. After a bout, both sides stopped, with no clear winner. Ending in a draw without hurting the harmony is a perfect start. The gods watching were also very satisfied. This time, the humans and the starry sky fishmen were cooperating, not suppressing each other. Of course, having a slight upper hand is still necessary. This balance is not easy to grasp, but it seems these youngsters are doing well. A sparring match acted like a seasoning, making the atmosphere even more lively. In friendly exchanges, these young people found many common languages. They discovered that they had many similar habits. Moreover, their similar appearances brought them closer. After the sparring, the two picked up their drinks and started drinking heavily, as if to compete in alcohol tolerance. Soon, the second match began. Again, it was two young people at the peak of the super god realm. In fact, this exchange had no specific rules. Whether to spar or not was up to the individuals. However, both races had received instructions from their elders and knew what to do. This time, the human genius wielded fire laws, with flames burning fiercely. The starry sky fishman genius still used water laws. The two laws restrained each other, and it was a matter of who was stronger. This battle was more intense, with the two fighting from the ground to the sky, flames roaring, and waves surging, neither giving way. The two displayed great combat power, fighting at the true god level with their super god peak realms. The gods watching were all satisfied. Your human race has many young talents. The starry sky fishmen are not inferior. The younger generation is equally impressive. Watching these youngsters makes us feel old. I heard your human race has a young one named Lin Moyu, who is listed as the top must-kill target by various races. Is he here? Yes, he's right there, next to Princess Ru. Lin Moyu felt several gazes on him and looked over to see several gods looking at him. He smiled politely and then shifted his attention. Yu Qingro smiled beside him, they are talking about you. Lin Moyu nodded, maybe about you too. Yu Qingro said, you are very famous now, and many races want to kill you. Lin Moyu smiled confidently, they won't have the chance. Yu Qingro smiled continuously but did not continue the topic. She walked gracefully to the table and picked up a piece of fresh fruit. Lin Moyu did not recognize the fruit, but Yu Qingro had already eaten several pieces, indicating it tasted good. Yu Qingro savored the fruit, squinting her eyes slightly, showing an expression of enjoyment. This fruit tastes really good. We don't have such good fruit there. Lin Moyu smiled, then you can stay here. There are many delicacies in the human race. Yu Qingro raised her eyebrows slightly, can I take this as an invitation? Of course. Yu Qingro laughed happily. However, Lin Moyu couldn't tell if Yu Qingro was genuinely happy or pretending. Usually, she was too cold, rarely showing a smile. At this moment, Lin Moyu felt a sharp, unfriendly gaze. The owner of the gaze was a young god of the starry sky fishmen, handsome, tall, and wearing silver armor, looking very heroic. His gaze contained a warning. Lin Moyu chuckled, understanding the meaning but not caring. Would a lion care about an ant's warning? Princess Ru, that person seems to have an issue with me, Lin Moyu said. Yu Qingro followed Lin Moyu's direction and saw the young god. His name is Yu Zhe. He once proposed to me but was rejected. His grandfather is an elder in the clan, with some power. Lin Moyu smiled, it seems he hasn't given up. Yu Qingro sighed, looking a bit helpless, we are of the same clan and both of royal blood, so I can't kill him. However, he knows he can't force me, as I am a princess and have a higher status than him. Lin Moyu suddenly thought of Luo Shen and asked, I've heard a beautiful love story. I want to ask, can a princess like you really not marry outside? Yu Qingro smiled, you mean the story of Princess Luo Shen, right? Smart, Lin Moyu sincerely praised. He had just mentioned it casually, and Yu Qingro understood. Yu Qingro thought for a moment, that was a special period in our clan. At that time, due to an accident, the royal elders passed away, leaving the clan leaderless. Princess Yu Luo, Luo Shen's mother, was one of the few who controlled spatial power. Her existence was extremely important, so she couldn't marry outside. You know the rest. Princess Yu Luo returned with Princess Luo Shen. Although Princess Luo Shen had half human blood, she also awakened spatial power, and even stronger. Princess Luo Shen helped us through the most difficult period. Later, more of us awakened spatial power, and the crisis was resolved. But soon after, Princess Luo Shen left and disappeared. Yu Qingro told the whole story in a very pleasant voice. After listening, Lin Moyu said, "So, there is no strict rule that a princess cannot marry outside?" Yu Qingro nodded. "Indeed, there is no strict rule, but apart from Princess Yu Luo, no princess has married outside." Lin Moyu smiled and did not continue to ask. In the sky, there was a roar, and the second match finally had a result. Water and fire were incompatible, but the two were evenly matched, ending in a draw again. 2 consecutive draws were indeed surprising. But it also made people feel a sense of mutual admiration. Soon, the third match began. The third match was still at the Super God level. It seemed everyone had a tacit understanding to start with the Super God level and gradually increase the level. Otherwise, if the God King started, the Super God level would be overshadowed. Since they were here, everyone should have a chance to show their skills. Time passed unknowingly. This special continent flew through the starry sky, showing everyone the beautiful human star systems and wonderful scenery. The sparring continued in a lively atmosphere.